Hi, I'm Alison Cariveau, and I work for the Monarch Joint Venture. We're a national organization with 75 member organizations, so we're kind of a big consortium. And we're dedicated to the conservation of monarchs and their migration. Just want to acknowledge up front some of my co-authors on the project, and that we've been consulting with a number of DOTs who have been advising us on our project, some of who are here, and we really appreciate this as being kind of a group effort. I'm talking to you right now for 5 minutes about a project that we have funded by the National Cooperative Highway Research Program, and it's going to be quick. We are developing tools for transportation managers to provide monarch habitat, but I want you to be thinking about how many of the things that we're doing might be useful to other rights of ways as well, because I think there's a lot of overlap here. And so we've got 4 main things: a GIS model, a field assessment, a habitat calculator, and then sort of a BMP component to our project. So as an underpinning, we started with a survey of transportation managers, and we did get a pretty good response. And we learned that they were interested in habitat planning as well as habitat assessment tools. And we heard about limitations in terms of time and money, and also a need for some ways to communicate with the public, well, with their operators, about goals about pollinator management, as well as with their public about why it looks messy out there and what we're doing. And then we asked specific questions about capacity to put field teams out to assess habitat, like how many hours could they spend, how many people could do it, things like that were very helpful to us. And then also we asked specific questions about norms for management practices, including mowing and weed treatment. So we were trying to get a little bit of information to work with. So our GIS prioritization model is really to help in times where you are going to be reconstructing habitat and revegetating. You know, when should you just put out the cheapest thing you can find and drive away? And then when would you want to invest in better seed mix, right? So it's sort of an interesting question we're all grappling with. So we've got a model where, like in this illustration, the higher priority habitats in blue and lowers in red. And we are up-ranking roadsides that are where the right-of-way is wider. So you just are getting more bang for your buck for your work. And there's a greater habitat width away from the actual roadway. And a little bit more of it doesn't need to be mowed in that safety section. And then up-ranking places that are adjacent to natural lands because there's less exposure to weed encroachment and chemicals. Potentially as well, and then also downranking places with the highest traffic volume, so there's direct mortality that can happen, as well as runoffs of salts if you're in a salting area, or just all the heavy metals that are associated with traffic in general. So that's kind of the core of our model, but I have to say that because we're in the middle of our project, everything's in development, so I'm pretty excited to talk to the other 6 or 8 GIS model people here. So watch out, I'll be coming for you. So this is kind of a neat thing that we're doing that may be able to help a lot of people. We're just, we worked this last year, and now this year we're going to try to work it with DOTs and a couple more field staff. Quick field assessment. So, you know, what do you actually have in your roadway? Park your truck, walk 150 feet, zigzag back across the right-of-way, and recording milkweed plants if you can find them, and then the number of types of flowers that are blooming at the time that you make the assessment, and then tracking the cover by noxious weeds, which people should already be looking for and recognizing. And then we're also getting the width of the habitat at that moment, and also the width that is mowed. And we did compare this to our rigorous national protocol, so that's something else I work on. It may also be of interest to some of you. The Integrated Monarch Monitoring Program is the one that the Fish and Wildlife Service, Sergio was mentioning earlier, has been in development over the last several years. It's an effort to nationally quantify monarch habitat and monarch use of habitats across different land use types, including right-of-ways. So I'm also looking for people who want to, volunteer and do a site like that. Anyway, we compared that more rigorous protocol with 100, meter subplots where you're walking along transects and whatnot to this rapid assessment, and it looked pretty favorable for this, capturing the same kind of information, so I'm really pleased with that. And then we also looked for monarch use on sites, and we'll be doing that again this year. We did find monarchs were breeding on 35% of the sites that we assessed with one visit that had milkweed, so pretty good. We envision this going into a habitat calculator where you could just put this right into your mobile device as you're out working, and you would calculate a score for each of these little sites that you do, and it could direct you to, hey, this is a great piece of habitat already. You might want to protect it or sign it or not mow it. Don't spray it. Or these are some issues that it's having. It doesn't have enough milkweed, doesn't have enough nectar plants, has too many weeds. What is it? And then that could direct you to the best management practices associated with that site. So best management practices, we don't feel like we need to develop them. We feel like people already kind of know what they are, but we feel like it's useful always to make them more accessible and easy to get to. So we're planning to have a mobile-friendly website with this information. The picture is the mowing windows that MJV developed with Xerxes, and there's a lot of really great success stories out there. So we're hoping to bring these best management practices, make them regionally specific and context dependent. So again, relating back to those site conditions from your habitat assessments. And there's real interest in cost estimates too, so we're hoping to pull together some of that information and provide it when possible. And then we also want to provide summaries of research. And this sounds a lot like what EPRI was talking about, so I think there's a great deal of overlap in these objectives and projects, but that's fine. We'll all share together. We all want to, share success stories. There's a lot of programs that are really, really progressive, and then I think there are some that really aren't yet. And so hopefully we can just give them a leg up and help them get on board a little faster. And then messaging for DOTs, and I really like Stephanie's ideas on this. So like creating some messages that can be shouted out to vegetation operators and to different team members on different, we don't all need to write these again and again and again. We might be able to share them across states. So I guess take-home messages are that, our GIS model may be similar or different to what the utility models are looking like. And so I'd kind of like to put a little huddle together on that. And then if you're interested in trying out the habitat calculator, the rapid assessment technique this year, I would love to demo it in your area. We would love to do that more broadly. In terms of geography, I'm in Minnesota, but I can travel, and so that would be really neat. And yeah, so let me know if you're interested in participating. Thanks.